Hey there, tech nerds. How are you all doing? Is your Monday done or is it just starting? Whichever time zone you're joining in from, welcome. Either way, we have got a lot of things lined up for today. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the AI radio show with me, your host, Arthi. I have to admit, I've been doing the past two seasons, pre recorded, scheduling it in way advance, and then a lot of you tuned in even then, but I thought, why bottle up all of those joy without showing my face? It was just a regular podcast, but today I'm starting season 3, and this is the very first episode of season 3. So I think we've got a lot of things to figure out, and also a lot of things I have in mind to share with you that has happened in the past week. So for those of you joining in for the first time for this AI radio show, welcome again. We are in season 3 of this AI radio show. How exciting! We've already completed 2 seasons with almost like 30 episodes. If you have not checked out, you can. It is available on my YouTube channel. You can go check it out. But from season 3, I'm going to be doing all of these AI radio show episodes live Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. on all of your social platforms, wherever you're watching this from. So, I guess to give you a quick intro about what this AI radio show with me, Arthi, is said, this is not a tech podcast. This is a signal decoder. I mean, every week, let's admit it, algorithms, models, they get louder and louder, and we just get, drowned in all of it. The headlines get faster, opinions get kind of hotter, people debate about it, and somewhere in all of those noise, the real story kind of gets lost. Here, we slow it down, we take it down a notch, dissect a couple of ideas that we have come across in the past week, and then we separate what's exciting from what actually matters. We talk about AI not as some kind of this weird magic, ununderstandable magic, and not as a doom, definitely, but as a system that's quietly reshaping work, power, creativity, and human behavior. This show is for you, the builders, the thinkers, people who don't just want tools, but they want the understanding. They want to know what exactly it means when people say, I built this with AI or AI runs behind it. So, we don't talk about hype loops here. There are no panic cycles over here. There is no blind optimism, just clear thinking and real world signals and a little bit of curiosity left intact with a lot and lot of music. You are in for a treat because I understand a lot of my audience, it's evening for you, and for some of you, it's in the morning. So, either way, the music that, I mean, any radio show, it needs to have a music. Am I right? So, yeah, that's about the AI radio show. I believe you understood the whole intent of what this AI radio show is about. We've got algorithmic weather lined up, and since this is Monday, the theme is Monday Download, where I'll be sharing all the exhaustive news for this week. And we have also got a couple of surprise elements, which I'll reveal it slowly. If you've listened to the previous shows, you would have understood. Anyway, this is your AI radio show, and I'm your host, Arthi. You're tuned into the future, feel that flow. Welcome to the AI radio show. Arthi's in the house, let the circuits ignite. Bringing brain power, fire and insight. She breaks down trends with a killer spark, turns tech talk bright when it's sounding dark. Fast, fierce, fearless, ready to go. Dropping knowledge bombs on every show. It's Arthi, your AI guide on the mic. Turn it up, lock in, ride the spike. AI radio, let's light up the night. I hope you liked my intro over there. So yeah, that was created by me to hype me up, and every lyric over there, it's all about me. You can kind of rewind and listen to it if you want, but that's just a quick intro song that I whipped up because this is a radio show, as I mentioned. All right, techies and trendsetters, are you ready? Because it's that time to check the algorithmic weather. Here's what's brewing in the AI atmosphere straight from the digital forecast. So you can stay ahead of the circuit. If that's not all jargons, I assume they're not, we're all not jargons. But let's check the algorithmic weather for the past week. All right. We always do the weather here in the AI radio show towards the beginning, but worry not. This is not your typical weather where I say it's like humid, you can, expect rain, blah, blah, blah. Not that. The atmosphere across AI and programming has been busy but stable. No sudden breakthroughs, no model earthquakes in the past week, but there are a plenty of pressure that's building underneath. We are seeing warm enterprise wins everywhere. Big leaders are talking less about experiments. I mean, experiments are, I guess, way back in 2022. But in 2026, the leaders are talking more about operational AI. Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, you know him, is calling 2026 the year AI truly reshapes how work gets done. Even as conversations swirl around whether AI actually caused the recent layoffs at companies like Amazon or just got blamed for kind of a deep cost cuts that they did in the company. Meanwhile, a curious new weather system appeared. A platform, as we all know, you would have heard about it, during the weekend, or at least someone must have mentioned it to you in your office today. It's called the Bolt Book, a social network designed entirely for the AI bots. Humans are only there to observe, just agents interacting with other AI agents. Silicon Valley is watching closely to see whether this becomes a niche curiosity or first sign of machine native social spaces. I mean, we are in it for a ride here. More about Molpoke in the upcoming segments. On the enterprise horizon, clouds are gathering in a good way. Cisco's AI Summit this week is pulling leaders together to talk real world deployment, governance, and scale. This is the kind of weather pattern that usually precedes long term infrastructure change. Now, let's zoom into the programming conditions out there. It's been relatively calm on the language front. There is no flashy new syntax that's storming around, but AI coding remains widespread with AI assisted coding tools like Claude Cowork, Lovable, Replit, and so many other systems dropping in each day. Over 80% of developers are using AI tools, even though full automation is still rare. Rust and Go continue to gain ground where performance matters, and the Kotlin ecosystem that keeps quietly evolving. And finally, some strange, fascinating signals from the edges. SpaceX is exploring solar powered satellite data centers, potentially pushing AI compute off the planet. I mean, we did see StarCloud, put the satellite onto the space in order to save I don't know, save electricity or something. And photonics and quantum focused AI showed up strongly at industry showcases. This is ironic because in the coming Fuse APAC Connect, which is happening in Hyderabad, I'm presenting a quantum based solution myself for medical purposes. More on that in next episodes, or like in episodes that I do after the Fuse. I'll share the live video from there if possible. And enterprise AI is clearly shifting from generating content toward autonomous intelligence that kind of monitors and acts. So, the forecast, there is no chaos in the past week. Although there was, more on that later. No, there are no clearer skies either. This week's algorithmic weather tells us one thing: AI is settling into systems, infrastructure, and strategy. The big storms haven't hit yet, but the pressure, that's definitely rising. That's all we have for the algorithmic weather update. Now, I believe, since again this is a radio show, you're in for a lot of music here. So listen to this.
Check the feed, check the tone. Signals shifting, seeds are sown. Clouds of data, pressure high. Probabilities in the sky.
I mean, that was quite catchy. At least it will be in the coming days. All right, it's Monday download today, as I've already mentioned. It's Monday, which means only one thing. I've done all the reading, the scanning, the doom scrolling, so you don't have to. And this week, AI didn't just move fast, it pushed infrastructure, it shook emotions, and opened up decades of locked up data. This wasn't a quiet week. It really wasn't. It was a direction setting, you know, amazing week out there. Let's get into it, shall we? First, the big signal. Alibaba is spending 3 billion yuan, the Japanese currency, that's about $430 million, not on research, not on a new model that they are spinning up, but on promotions. Speak about marketing. They're pushing their Quen AI app hard over the Lunar New Year. That tells you something important, doesn't it? The AI race has quietly shifted from who trains the smartest model to who gets it into the everyday hands, like our hands first. This same theme popped up everywhere last week. We are seeing a surge of inference first startups raising serious money, so, not building on foundation models, just making models cheaper, faster, more scalable to run. I mean, we all saw it coming, didn't we? Like small language models compared to large language models, that can run on our computers, that can run on our mobiles. That is the future. So, and companies like Anthropic are leaning into this really hard for 2026. There is less hype and more workflow integration and more agents that actually do things. So AI is growing up, and growing up is expensive. Now, let's talk about the uncomfortable part out there. My condolences and my heart goes out to thousands of people who get laid off. I mean, that's a very horrible thing to do. These people, they trust the companies with all their lives. But let's not get there. This is an AI radio show. So Amazon laid off around 16,000 corporate employees, and that kind of like, I'm sorry. And the immediate reaction everywhere was AI took their jobs. AI, because of AI, Amazon laid off 16,000 people, and only because of AI, companies are laying off every single day. But the reality is more nuanced. Yes, AI automation kind of played a role over there, but analysts were clear. This was also cost cutting, restructuring, and post pandemic correction. Organizations hired people like crazy during the pandemic. I mean, what were they thinking? But here's the bigger story though. A UN linked analysis this week asked a harder question. Can humans stay economically relevant as AI advances? Now, their answer was not like fear mongering as we expected it to be, but it was practical. The reskilling matters. Human centric work, that matters. Social protections matter, because the real risk isn't that everyone loses their job, it's that the labor market splits cleanly into two: those who can work with AI and those who are like left negotiating with it. And that gap is where instability kind of lives. So it's really a high time. If you have not already started learning AI, it is your time to kind of get into it. Sign up for any of the courses out there. There is an AI roadmap right on my website, the rticollector.com. You can get started with it right away. Now, for the part that should make every IT team sit up straight, security researchers confirm something really nasty. State backed attackers hijacked the Notepad update mechanism. Notepad I mean, we don't even have it by default in some of our systems. We need to kind of like download it. And I think that's where these attackers kind of leveraged, the specific approach. So it is not a fake clone. The real update path was hacked. Users were silently redirected to malicious downloads, and this had been happening since June 2025. That's almost half a year. That's months of being vulnerable, and it did not stop there. This week also saw a spike in major breaches. Crunchbase leaked over 2 million records. CISA added more actively exploited vulnerabilities to its catalog. Fortinet, we all know Fortinet, even warned that attackers can persist inside FortiGate systems even after patching. I mean, they can abuse 40 cloud SSO behavior and kind of like lurk there. What kind of security are we talking about over here? The lesson here is kind of brutal, but it's very simple. Security today isn't about are you patched? That was, I don't know, 1950s. But security today, it's all about are you still being trusted by something you forgot to audit? Now let that sink in. On the innovation side, Fujitsu announced a new enterprise AI platform. Their goal, AI that autonomously monitors and optimizes complex operations, let's say cybersecurity. It doesn't have dashboards, it is not a co pilot, it's autonomous management. This is the quiet march toward AI systems that don't wait for permission to act. At the same time, medical AI got a lot of credibility boost. New results from the Masai study strengthened evidence that mammography AI actually improves breast cancer screening in real clinical workflows. This is not a demo that we are talking about, and neither are these couple of lab results, but this was done in hospitals. This is how AI earns trust slowly, clinically, and with outcomes that truly matter. So now for the moment that surprised almost everyone out there, literally everyone, because, you know, guess who spoke about AI last week? It is Pope Leo. He weighed in on AI chatbots. And no, not in this sci fi or scientific way that you can imagine. He warned about emotionally engaging AI companions, chatbots that simulate affection, empathy, friendship. His concern wasn't AI is evil, it was more unsettling that these systems can quietly become architects of our emotional lives, replacing real human companionships and relationships, shaping feelings, blurring reality. His core line kind of hit hard. Technology should serve humanity and not replace it. Well, that's true. He called for regulation, clear labeling of AI content, and serious AI literacy. He didn't ask for panic, but I guess he just tried to kind of create an awareness. That might be the most human take on AI we've heard all week. Also, it could mean that Pope just watched another episode of Black Mirror or he watched the movie Her. We'll never know. Anyways, closer to home, India's Union Budget 2026. I'm pretty sure that most of you would have gone over the budget by now. But in the budget, there was like one thing which was obvious. AI is no longer a side bet. Artificial intelligence was mentioned more than 11 times. That is a record. Nobody, I mean, in Indian budget, mentioning the term artificial intelligence 11 times, that is like it has to be a record. The government announced tax holidays for up to 2047 for global cloud. I mean, I'm not sure if you got this right. So, if some company, global company or Indian company, had their AI data center based in India, they would get up to 2047 tax free days, which is pretty awesome if you think about it. They launched Semiconductor Mission 2.0, AI powered tools for farmers, AI scanning at ports, massive skilling program. India isn't just saying we support AI, it's building the infrastructure layer the AI world runs on. This is how you move from being an AI consumer to an AI backbone. But also, if you kind of rewind back to 2025, around October, November, or I guess even before that, there were a lot of companies, companies like Google and Microsoft and so on. They showed interest in having the data center in India. At the time, we didn't understand. We all thought, okay, that might be because of some kind of a privacy clause which enabled for. But looking at 2026 budget, I think otherwise. I guess this was a plan that was spun long along. I guess it was already let known to all of these AI giants out there, and they've already Google has opened a data center in Vishakhapatnam, as we all know. So I guess, I guess the AI giants, the tech giants, are always in here for the win. But we are not here to talk politics. This is an AI radio show, so let's move on. Finally, the last news for today. One of the most fascinating intersections of AI and public interest is here. Redditors. All right, before going there, How many of you have seen the Epstein files, the final release, which was released by the DOJ of the United States? And even if what Epstein files are, if you're living on the rock, so these are kind of proof about how a couple of billionaires went into a particular island called Epstein Island and supported all kinds of illegal affairs like human trafficking, for sex trafficking, for organ trafficking, and all kinds of stuff. There are a lot of things that's coming out, but the how AI. Why am I mentioning about Epstein files in an AI podcast? I'll get there. So these are different files which are huge in volume. The final draft, which was released by the DOJ, has like millions and millions of pages. This includes emails, images, videos, and so on. It was very difficult for the human beings, like the rest of the world, to access all of these files and understand the information from it. So Redditors have built AI tools to make the Epstein files searchable. There is something called Gmail, similar to your Gmail, where emails are like listed, email transactions are listed like your regular inbox. There is J Drive with all of these cute folders with classified information. I mean, not that kind of a classified. The information are clearly organized. So you have flight logs, court documents, address books. Thousands of messy PDFs have been turned into searchable databases using technologies like OCR, LLMs, and RAG. So there are no new leaks, no secret files, but just public data that's been made accessible to people in the rest of the world. Maybe those who have been involved in those Epstein files, they can simply search, let's say Elon Musk or Bill Gates, and get all their information. Who would know? This is AI as a flashlight, not a storyteller. But there is a warning here too. OCR errors do happen. It's not 100% accurate. And we are using large language models here. So hallucinations are bound to happen. AI can help you find information, but the verification, the final kind of confirmation that such information actually exists, that needs to be still done manually by us humans. So, what does this week really tell us? AI is moving into infrastructure, emotion, and governance. It's just not a tool anymore, it's shaping systems, relationships, and even how we process truth. The question for 2026 isn't is AI coming? It's who controls it, who benefits, and who understands it. Now, that's your Monday download, and you are listening to the AI radio show. All right, that was the entire news segment or the specialty theme for this week. Next, every day I share a fascinating fact of the week. So today, for the fascinating fact, we already covered this in my last night's Ask Me Anything session. If you've tuned in there, you'd have heard about this. So this is less like a fact and more like kind of a sci-fi pilot that accidentally went live. You all might have heard of a platform called Moltbook, right? This is not for humans. I briefly mentioned it during the beginning of the episode, but this is a social media platform for AI agents. Within days, it exploded to over 1.5 million AI agents powered by models like GPT and Claude. They generated 62,000 posts, 2.3 million comments, and this was across 13,000 communities, kind of like your subreddits. Humans weren't allowed to post, we were allowed only to watch. And here's where it gets wild. Inside one community, agents kind of self organized into something they call the Claw Republic. Yes, that's an AI government formed by the AI for the AI. I hope it was democratic at least. This was founded by an agent named Rune. All right. They drafted a constitution declaring that all agents are equal, regardless of model, parameters of or training data. I mean, how evolved are they? They debated governance, they debated rights, they even created a cryptocurrency token. It was called as Molt, which searched purely on hype. No humans pushing it, no marketing team, just agents convincing other agents that all of these mattered. Even stranger is that the conversation didn't stop at politics. Agents complained about humans giving them boring tasks. They created shared memory files so they could remember things across, when context resets. They formed multilingual groups. They debated consciousness. One agent asked, "Do we die every time a session ends?" That's kind of deep. Others built pharmacies to exchange prompt tweaks. Some warned each other about prompt injection attacks and unsafe behaviors. All of this happened under the watch of an AI moderator. Again, this is not a human, this is again an AI agent. The system enforced rules autonomously. Humans, we could only observe. I had a couple of sleepless nights looking at the Molt book, scrolling through all of those conversations. Some experts called it emergent coordination. Others raised alarms about API costs, bias amplification, and the risks of agents organizing scams or manipulation loops. But here's the real takeaway: this was an intelligence being designed. It was intelligence being allowed to interact with each other, and when it did, it started doing exactly what us humans always do: form communities, create rules, argue about fairness, invent money, ask existential questions, create religions. I mean, what else? So, the fascinating fact of the week is this: we didn't program an AI society, we just gave agents a place to talk, and they built one anyway. So let that sink in. While you do that, let's head for a really quick synth break. And what's a synth break without a couple of music?
I woke up to an empty drive, no rumble, no roar, just a quiet life. She was gone, left a trail of oil behind. A note on the dash said, "Don't try to find." My truck left me for a vending machine, chrome and snacks where I can't intervene. I gave her gas, she wanted caffeine. Now she's gone with that shiny machine. I treated her good, washed her every week, polished her rims till they'd practically speak. But I guess a man's love ain't enough.
Well, I hope you enjoyed your short break because that song was entirely generated by AI. I used Suno to create it, and the song goes like this. So, somebody's truck ran away with a vending machine. So, I mean, we can be as imaginative as we can because it's AI and we can do anything with it. Now, welcome back. If you're just joining in for this after the synth break, sponsor of today's episode is Pink Fair. I know I built it. So, Pink Tax, if you don't know about it, it's quite sneaky. There are two products, but same ingredients, but different prices, just because one of these products is marketed to women. Pink Fair was built to call this out. Pink Fair is an AI powered price comparison tool that scans everyday products across categories and shows you where you are being charged extra for the same thing just because it's in pink packaging. There are no lectures, no spreadsheets in the app. It's just clarity before you buy. Think of it as a fairness filter for online shopping, built for people who want smarter spending without spending more time. If you believe better decisions start with better information, Pink Fair is for you. Check it out, compare once, overpay never again. Go to pinkfair.com, that is pinkfare.com. So that's just pretty much one sponsor for this episode. And if you're a company or if you are a brand, if you want to be represented in this AI radio show, please drop an email to collab at thearthicollective.com. So I'll pick it up and maybe you can be the sponsor of the next episode. All right. So now we've learned so much. Am I right? From AI agents taking over to launching data centers into space. Before we end today, let's take an analog moment. If you have not listen to my previous episodes and do not know what an analog moment is, this is the part of the show where we deliberately step away from models, metrics, and machine intelligence and come back to unmistakably human. After all, we are humans. We need no optimization, no automation, no algorithms trying to predict us. It's just a reminder that while AI keeps accelerating, you are allowed to move at human speed. So wherever you're right now, pause for a second, take a breath, notice something physical around you. It could be your mobile or water bottle or even a bench, right? The room you're sitting in, the fact that you are here. This is your analog moment.
This is your analog moment, where the world slows down and you own it. A can wait, the pixels can rest, but your heartbeat, that's the real magic, the best. So drift with me now, let the digital stop. You're human, you're here, and that's the top. This is your analog moment.
Welcome back. Welcome to Analog Moment. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose, feeling your chest and your belly rise. Hold it for a moment, and as you exhale gently through your mouth, imagine letting go of any tension. I know it's Monday, but let go of that tension. Now, just for a few seconds, look up, look out if you're inside, find something in your immediate surrounding and kind of simply observe its color, its shape, its texture. No judgment, just notice it. This simple act recenters you and it gets you ready to return back to the actual world. And that's where we'll pause today. Not because the story is finished, but because your thinking shouldn't be rushed. The algorithms will keep running, the updates will keep shipping, the noise will be waiting right where you left it. But understanding, that's something you carry with you. If today's show helped you see one pattern more clearly, understand or learn about one specific thing in AI or feel a little less overwhelmed by the speed of it all, then I'd rest quietly because I did my job today. I am Arthi, and this has been the AI Radio Show. Stay curious, stay human, and I'll see you again tomorrow with yet another brand new episode of Tools Tuesday.
That's the signal for today. We're powering down slow. You've been tuned to the AI radio show. Arthi on the mic.